Say something.
Do you like scary movies? Hello everyone and welcome to day 6 of Terrorthon, Horror Hosts. Birthed immediately after the spook shows, horror hosts went on television and presented horror movies, oftentimes bringing these movies to the mainstream. Horror hosts would keep you entertained during the beginning, the middle and the end of movies before all of the commercial breaks, with anecdotes, jokes and skits, making the experience so much more immersive and entertaining. They've been active since the 50s. For a while there in the 2000s they sort of disappeared, but they're making a grand comeback now. So what better time to introduce you to the world of the horror hosts, starting at the very beginning with Vampira. Her real name was Mila Nurmi, and her appearance was inspired by Morticia Addams, which is quite apparent when you look at her. She ran the Vampira show from 1954 to 1955, and in many ways could be considered the very first horror host of all. She's perhaps most famous for appearing in Ed Wood's movie Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is often called the worst movie ever made, but my god, it's so entertaining, I recommend it. She also, you might not have known, had a child with famous actor Orson Welles, but this was covered up and the child was put up for adoption. I certainly didn't know that until today.
Screaming really nasty, so.
Next up we have one of the longest working horror hosts of them all, Zachary. His real name was John Zacharla, and he ran the Shock Theatre from 1957 until 1958, and then Zachary at Large from 1959 to 1960. He's perhaps most famous for running a fake presidential campaign, which actually gained some traction, believe it or not. Zachary worked right up until the 1980s, and he was also friends with Frank Henenlotter, who directed the notorious Basket Case and the amazingly titled Frankenhooker.
We have this evening a premiere. Isn't that grand? This thing's called the, oh dear, I've done it again here.
And then came another host that is still working today, Svengoolie. He was originally played by a man called Jerry G. Bishop from 1970 to 1973, before he was succeeded by a man called Rich Cozy from 79 onwards. He was known as the son of Svengoolie. Just before and after commercial breaks, he would present sketches, jokes, and he would also sing song parodies, which made him stand out from the others. His show was unfortunately cancelled in 1986, and they tried to make a comeback in 95, but as of today, he is back.
What was that? All right, Mr. Ghoulie. We've had to deal with you before on this type of matter.
Nothing but foul language and toilet humor.
Next we have potentially the most famous of all the horror hosts, Elvira. Played by Cassandra Peterson, Elvira ran a movie macabre from 1981 to 1986, but she's appeared in so many other things: Halloween specials, the Mario Brothers show, if you can believe that, Scooby-Doo, wrestling, and she was also known for her thriller video home videos, which featured more tame movies than typical horror hosts, because she wasn't a big fan of gore, and she is still working today.
Hello, darling, and welcome to the show. Elvira's the name, and movie hosting's my game.
And then we come to Joe Bob Briggs. Real name John Irving Bloom. Joe Bob Briggs hosted TNT's Monster Vision from 1996 until the year 2000. He originally picked a hillbilly name, which is why he ended up at Joe Bob Briggs. He always counted boobs and always gave 4 stars for every movie he saw. He was a real character. He's actually working right now with The Last Drive-In on Shudder. Highly recommend you check that out.
You know, a lot of people write me and say, "Hey, Joe Bob Briggs, just what is monster vision?" You don't need no special glasses or an insect's head, just a healthy love for slime and disrespect for the dead.
There are so many horror hosts that I didn't name. Ned the Dead, I mean we could be here all day, but there's so many, and I really hope these guys make a comeback because they were so entertaining. See you tomorrow.